Aloha, this is Leimomi Keliikuli, psychic business mindset mentor here. So if you are listening to me, totally please, say hello and let me know that you are listening in. And if you're watching the replay, totally, you can still comment below and let me know what you feel by listening to what I'm about to talk to you about. So I see everybody's jumping on in. Totally say hello. And because I may not see that you're joining, but definitely make a little comment so I know that you're watching me. So today's topic is about what are soulmates and twin flame contracts, and why they are actually not good for you, and why it actually blocks you from creating more fame and fortune, and actually the three main benefits of why you should think about removing them. And then also I will explain to you in very big detail about what actually is energetically happening when you have these kind of like soulmate or relationship blocks, okay? And what we call our contracts, okay? So I see Dee just joined, and so totally say hello if you just jump on in. And with my live streams, I basically will educate you in the beginning about all what this is. And then afterwards, we'll do some Q&A where you could ask me whatever you want about this topic or whatever you feel, you're blocking yourself. We can totally have that time for Q&A. So I see Monica says hello, and Julia, hi, and Dee says hi too. So yeah, if you're just listening in, totally say hi. Okay, so here we go. Usually we think, honestly, in the spiritual, what we've learned in terms of like what's spiritually so great is we always thought that like soulmate contracts is so good, right? But I'm here to tell you that actually soulmate contracts are not very good. And one of the biggest reasons is because, especially if you have a business, it affects how much money you make. So, and also how much fame opportunities and being famous, it will totally affect everything about your life this way. So this is soulmate contracts. I love it. Hi, Janae and Anne. Say hi. So I'm here to burst your bubble about that, because we usually think it's super, super like awesome that, yeah, we found our soulmate. And then when you're actually in the relationship, you're like, oh my God, like this guy has serious problems, or, like beliefs that like it's like not even like related to you at all. And it makes you feel small. It makes you feel like, oh my God, am I with the right person? Am I with the wrong person? Am I actually like supposed to be with this person? So like you've got like all this beliefs that comes up. And the reason is because you're actually reliving the same soulmate contracts that you've had with that soul in this lifetime. So that is why it feels like, oh, I love this person. This is so great. We're totally vibing. We're on the same level. But then you're fighting. And then like there's like all kinds of crazy beliefs that this person is putting on you. Or you might even have like some kind of crazy idea about how this person is supposed to be like. But I have to tell you, the reason that's happening is because of soulmate contracts. How many of you have that problem? Or, feel like you are in kind of a relationship that if you're loving, of course you love each other, but then it's just like, oh my God, it's so intense. Or it feels like nothing at all is happening. There's like no big intimacy, or you just kind of like fighting over dumb things. Julia says, I do. Yes. Me too. Okay. My husband and I, we have an amazing, amazing relationship. We are totally twin flames. We're totally soulmates. And if you don't know what twin flames or soulmates are, I have to tell you that seriously, every person that you ever meet is your soulmate. So it's not only like some intimate relationship like your spouse or your partner, your boyfriend or your girlfriend. I'm talking about like any kind of relationship that shows up right now. They are your soulmate. Okay, so that doesn't, like I said, it's not about having that being an intimate partner. Julia says, we have such an intense and amazing bond, but we have been working through some big issues. Yeah, so that's what it feels like. It's like, oh my God, like we have so much big issues. Like, what is the problem here? And you can get totally crazy about it. Like, just so much chaos about it, right? Lisa says, yep. Hi, Alexis. I see Alexis joined. And Julia says, I have been having to learn my own lessons while making sure I don't take on his completely. Compassion, not empathy. Yeah. Okay. So this is what I'm going to talk about how that works with soulmate contracts. Okay. Let me just break it down for you so you understand what's going on. So when you meet another person, whether that's intimate, it could be your mother, your father, your sibling, or whatever, they are intimately connected like a soul family. Okay. We made like kind of conditions, or we call contracts, to relive basically the same things that we lived in past lifetimes before. If you don't believe in past lifetimes, I'm telling you, it does exist. And you can see this by looking at your relationships, like what's actually happening in your relationships. So when you are in any kind of relationship, especially if it's super intimate and intense, there will always be that kind of compassionate connection, okay, which also is a soul level block. And then also there actually are lessons that you are experiencing right now with that person, and he or she is experiencing their own life lessons, and you're actually like intimately learning from each other different lessons, but they're intertwined, and there's actually a theme behind the both of you of like why you are together. And you're literally like fighting between each other about like, this is my life lesson, this is my life lesson, this is like what I want to experience, this is what I want to experience. And then you're just like going back and forth like this energetically, right? I'm sure everybody understands what I'm saying, right? And that is happening because you have these soulmate contracts, okay? So what are the kind of soulmate contracts that could happen? You could have like protection contracts. So this is like where literally it feels like you have to protect this person or they're going to die. If you have like some kind of past life or something that was related to where you had that protection contract, you literally feel like that to your spouse or that partner, to your sibling or to your mother or your father. Like you're constantly thinking about them because you feel like they're going to die. Because you feel like you have to protect each other. That's what it's going to feel like. There's another contract where it's like a healing contract, let's say. And so like this is where you kind of feel like obligated to like heal this person. Meaning, like let's say that they're super sick. They have like problems with their health, their energy, they can't do anything, and they're just dependent on you to actually take care of their health. That is what the healing contract feels like. It feels like this person is so disempowered that they can't even like take care of their own health or their exercise or like whatever it is, and they literally like losing their health, and they're expecting you to take care of it. Okay, so obviously that's not healthy, right? That's like you constantly have to go over their house, feed them, clothe them, take care of them, this kind of stuff. So of course it's not going to be good because that's going to take up your time. Then you might also have a soulmate contract, okay? So soulmate contract is where you literally feel like you have to be with this person all the time, 24/7. Like you're like desiring to be with that person. And that's really not good for you, because then what happens? You don't do your business. You don't do your purposeful work. You're constantly thinking about that person, and it's totally distracting you day in and day out of what you actually want to focus on. Okay, does that make sense? I see Tamara and Brooke just joined. So totally, like, if you're just listening in, totally say hi. Okay. So that's what's going to go on. You're going to have like, and also another way, what might happen is you have these vows. Okay. So with vows is literally where you forever vow to be with that person. So actually, you know, like it's not good to make that, in my opinion, it's not really that great to make any kind of vow. It's like, because it can be like on anything, right? And especially if you're, married to somebody, right? You're like forever vowing to do this thing, be with them forever. And sometimes that's really good, but sometimes it's really not good for you. And I'm talking about the part that is not good for you, okay? So don't get mixed up like I'm saying like, oh my God, like you shouldn't ever get married or you shouldn't ever, like make any vows to anybody or stuff like that. I'm talking about like why it disempowers you. Hi, Anjara. Monica says yes. Brooke says hi. Hi. So do you see like how that's going to really mess up how you show up in your life and your business, and also it's going to like create so much distraction. And I can tell you that the number one reason why you're probably not making enough money that you really desire, or you're not creating any like fame or ability to bring in and attract and magnetize new clients and stuff like that to you, has a lot to do with this kind of soulmate contracts. Does that make sense? Does everybody feel that way? And then what also happens is you create clients who are like that, like totally draining, that expects certain things from you, that like it doesn't feel like an empowered situation. You always feel like kind of on a ball that you got to take care of this person, you got to heal this person, you got to like protect this person, you got to like, you see what I mean? So same thing goes with clients. They are your soulmates. Julia says yes. Yeah. Totally give me likes and hearts. So do you see what I mean? How that works, right? So that's going to affect who you attract and who you're working with, and who, like, even as an intimate partner, how you feel about yourself. You feel like not worthy. You feel like it's incredibly hard to just do like what you want to be doing right now, right? And there's so much love and so much like amazing greatness, but then also there's like nothing happening in your business, nothing working and stuff like that. So I always ask my clients, number one is there something that's going on in your relationship? Because that is the number one ego sabotage that happens. Then if you can find out what it is, like what relationship it is, or is it with a client, is it with your JV partnership that you're connected to another coach or something like that, you're doing something together, or is it is it your mother, is it your father, is it like, what are you experiencing with each other that is misaligning you? And I can tell you, number one is they have these contracts going on. So do any of you feel like there's that stuff going on, like these soulmate contracts I'm talking about? I'm giving that title of soulmate contract because that is a very kind of like vague, and then it kind of goes under like these protection, healing, vows, even life lessons and stuff like all happening all at once. But I'm really just using that phrase to basically say that that's what contracts are like. Lisa says, can you change your contracts? Oh, okay. So how you can change contracts is you definitely have to have consciousness about it. So let's say you're very aware that you have like a healing contract with your husband or your mother or your brother or sister, like whatever you feel like you have that healing contract. The best way to actually change it is not to engage in it. So I know like that's super hard to do. I'm sorry, but my son, they just got home. So he's yelling. And the reason is because the third dimensional aspect of what you actually do in your life is what shifts the consciousness of that person and you at the same time. So remember I was talking to you about the third dimensional aspect and your seventh dimensional aspect are the two major things that you need to shift and change all the time in order to create what you desire. Hi Nathan. Hi Viviana. So and that is about fame and fortune. If you really want to have more fame, you really have to change your manifesting blueprints, the way that you interact with people. That's your seventh dimensional aspect. If you want to make more money in your actual physical reality, which is actually the neutral exchange of what you create by, the transformation that you're giving to your clients or whatever value that you're giving, you actually receive money in the third dimensional aspect. So that's what's happening at the energetic level. When you have a relationship that is sabotaging you from creating fame and fortune, right? Your seventh and your third. Every time when you try to align to all of your 10th dimensional aspects, and then you're, connecting to source energy and you're like feeling in alignment, if there are any fifth dimensional aspects, which are, Akashic records, right? If they are misaligned, then your blueprints are not lining up, and then you're not receiving the abundance from at the third dimensional level. So what you might be experiencing is like your brain feels like, oh yeah, I can have this amazing relationship, but actually when you actually have the relationship, it's like crazy. It feels like really misaligned, and you're like questioning whether I should be with this person or stuff like that. But honestly, what's happening is you're reliving that fifth dimension aspect of your past lives, and then energetically, you can create your future without clearing that past stuff. And then what you do is you keep continuing that same pattern with that relationship. If it's not with that person, you can get rid of that person. But you might end up with a different person, but it's the same contract, the same problems. So once you clear that part, that's super important, your fifth dimension aspect, which is your Akashic records, then the third dimension aspect will shift too. Like you will literally find that your relationships become more intimate. This is the benefits. Is your relationships feel real. Like it is actually like you and that person is having a relationship. But what it feels like, it's like you're having a relationship with somebody that you don't feel, like you feel connected, but there's like something in the background that doesn't add up and doesn't make sense. And that is because you have those kind of soulmate contracts. Okay. So then your third dimensional part of yourself will actually start to feel the real deep connection and soul to soul with the person, instead of like the bad patterns that like you had to live and relive with that same kind of person or with a different person. So when you actually get rid of those past, like Tamara says, how do you clear past stuff? That is the fifth dimensional aspect, which is your Akashic records. So when you clear that part of your contracts, it's permanent, and you immediately feel the benefits in your third dimension, like in your physical reality, and you actually shift your reality into the more like ideal dream reality with that person. Like you immediately will see it, you will actually feel it, because that you're no longer binded. So that's the thing, like you could have binded contracts. Those are also, so like when you are having those kind of like, you might have like a curse on you accordingly to like your family members, because there was just a really big like karmic thing happening between you and family or another group and stuff like that. All of that is in your Akashic records, and when you clear that, it's permanently gone. So you don't actually experience it in your physical reality. Does that make sense? So the key is you have to, number one, like do it differently, right? So even though that there is this karmic thing going on, like you actually have to choose not to engage in it, or you can clear it permanently by doing it in your Akashic records. And that's actually the work that I do, because what I found is when you clear all your blueprints and they all line up, your 10-dimensional aspects of your soul, you receive fame and fortune very easily. Like money flows, opportunities happen, you'll be able to attract and magnetize the right clients to you. You won't feel like you're in this cycle like over and over with these same kind of souls, these same kind of people that you're attracting. So every relationships will affect your, like you doing your purpose for work, if those contracts are there. And that's these are the three benefits, right? Like you will be able to not have to relive that old karmic pattern with that person or with any other souls with that same kind of lifetime that you may have had with them. That's like the biggest benefit, is like you will be able to actually focus on what you desire, and it won't be like completely like sabotaging you, right? So that's the second thing, is they won't be sabotaging you as much. The noise won't be as distracting. You know, you will have these kind of relationships that feel like it, like in flow, and money will start definitely flowing to you very easily, and you won't feel like stuck, because that stuck feeling you're feeling has a lot to do with that kind of sabotage, right? They're actually sabotaging relationships, sabotage money, like absolutely. As soon as like I fight with my husband all the time, and it's always a good thing because we always get to clear the belief or the mindset or whatever is going on that's misaligning both of us. And as soon as we kind of like communicate and like figure out what the block is, then that emotional energy will get rid of the block, and then we will be able to have more flow, and money will just start flowing. So how you know that you are actually in alignment with that relationship is you will start making a lot of money. Like automatically, like your bank account starts making money. The people who said that they're going to work with you, they suddenly say like, I want to work with you, and they start wanting to pay you, stuff like that. So the third benefit is it will definitely, once it's cleared, it does actually affect your energy and your health. If you have these soulmate contracts or any kind of these specific contracts I'm talking about, which affects your ability to create more fame and attracting these opportunities to you. Because energetically, that connection that you're having with other people in that way, if you are not up to par with your energy and your health, obviously you cannot attract fame and fortune, like totally. You're just not capable of, because energetically you don't have enough energy to magnetize anything to you. So the third benefit, well, you actually will have more energy and your health will automatically improve. That is what's so cool about this. Like you think like, wow, I have a soulmate contract with my father or mother, which is like maybe a protection contract or something. You wouldn't think like if you get rid of that, like that will give you more energy and more health, or like bring on more money or more fame or things like this, because it's literally, when you clear one part of that, it always affects another part of your life that you're missing. So if you're having like health issues or like not having enough energy, it could be that you're having these kind of contracts. Okay. So Vivian says, so am I to assume that me making money is related to my relationships? Absolutely. If you don't make money, then there's a relationship problem. I'm not just talking about intimacy, like intimate relationships. I'm talking about like everybody in your life. Could be your clients, could be JV partners, it could be your mom and your sister, or your brother, or your cousins, or like even people you wouldn't even think are related to you. There's any kind of misalignment, and I call that business contributors. So the people, places, and things that affect the way that you create and intellectually helps you to feel like if you can create something in your business, if they are in any kind of misalignment to you, that energy will affect how much money you make immediately. So that's why I always tell my clients, like I said, like you have to go check what is the relationship sabotage that's going on in the background, because it's normally that. And that's what I call your business contributors. So I can actually also clear those kind of people in your life. Those are the business contributors. Okay, so ultimately, the hugest benefit of clearing this stuff is you'll create more intimacy, more connection with people, places, and things automatically, especially in your intimate relationships. And then all that weird stuff that was going on in the background will be gone. Like literally, like the thoughts and emotions and the compassionate connections that you may have with certain people, you won't even have those thoughts. You won't even have those feelings. There won't be any emotional charge about it, and you'll actually really be able to focus on what you want. So that's like the hugest benefit by clearing that background noise. Did that make sense to everybody? I know I talked a lot. So this is what I normally do in my live streams. I give you the education about what this is, and then we do Q&A. So now anybody, if you want to like ask me questions, you can totally do now. And it can be related to this subject or, you know, whatever you're feeling that you may need help with, that you may not even be aware. Angela said, am I going to have to watch the replay? If you want to listen to what I just educated you about, definitely watch the replay. Because whenever I do my live streams, I'm literally trying to shift your consciousness. So it may not even be like specific words that, you know, like you're picking up of what I'm saying. It's really literally like changing your mindset about this kind of thing, this subjects I'm talking about. I just joined and I am lost. Oh gosh, yeah. So I was just talking anyway about this, how soulmate contracts can actually sabotage like everything in your doing your purposeful work in your life and in your business, and even intimacy. Because a lot of times when you have these background noises, it stops you from creating. That's what's actually happening. So anybody have any questions? Angela, if you have questions, totally ask me. If you're really lost, like what you want to know, totally ask me. So this is what is so cool about removing soulmate contracts, is that we, like I said, we usually think it's good, but actually it hinders you from having an intimate relationship in this present life. You end up like creating the same people, the same circumstances over and over again, and then you misalign each other from doing your purposeful work. That's basically what's happening. So multidimensionally, what's happening is you will feel like you love this person and everything feels like great and you're like jiving, and then on other terms it's just like crazy arguments, like trying to put on certain beliefs or certain ways of thinking to the other person, and then you actually like sabotage you at having a beautiful relationship, even though when you first met it was like beautiful, right? And then you end up in that same problem. So how do you know which relationship is good or not so good on a soul level? That's what Dee says. That's a good question. That honestly has to do with knowing your divine gifts. So I think like every relationship can be a good thing for you in some form. But if it's not aligned at all to you, it will show up like you will feel like it's not the right fit, and then it can actually sabotage your growth of your soul. So that's how you know like it's not good for you at soul level, because it literally will feel like that person is stopping you from, you know, doing your purposeful work. And sometimes it also, yes, can create creative blocks, Angela. You can experience this where like, you know, like you want to create that content or you really want to do that one thing, but then let's say like suddenly the phone rings and then like somebody has an emergency, and then you're like, oh God, I can't do it now. I can't do what I actually wanted to do right now. That's what it will feel like. It's like one relationship after another, whether it's your sibling or friends or it's actually your lover, will start to create so much problems for you and distract you from doing your purposeful work. So that's how it actually also blocks you in terms of creatively, is you will have an idea and then like you can't implement it. Or you will have like this feelings that you want to do something, but then like something comes up where you can't do it. And the people, places, and things will just like sabotage it totally. Hi, Nicola and Carrie. Oh, I'm actually at the Q&A part, so if you missed the whole beginning. But I was really literally talking about soulmate contracts and how that's actually sabotaging you. So if you want to listen to exactly what, because I really laid it down multidimensionally what's happening, only you gotta listen to the replay. Anybody else have any questions? That like while you're listening, did anything pop up in your head and you're like, oh my God, like I need to like clear this stuff? Hi, Nazarene. Totally ask me, okay? So what can you do about this? Obviously you want to know. Number one is you need consciousness of what the problem is, meaning what is the sabotage that's happening. And then when you know what that is, then you can actually do an aligned action to stop that sabotage from happening. But if you don't have a consciousness of like, oh, I have like a protection contract or something like that that's going on in the background, then there's obviously you can't address it, right? So Nicole says, yes, so glad more people are talking about this. Yeah, Carrie says, cool beans. I missed the beginning, but when I do readings for people, this is huge. Yeah, Nicola, that's what I'm talking about. Nazarene says, hi. Angela says, I know I have stuff to clear. I just don't know what and how. Yeah, so this is what's super hard is like, even though you know you have stuff, you need somebody else on the outside to look at it objectively. And then you really need somebody really good at it. Like you can actually, like anybody that does any kind of clearing work, whether it's like SRT or bars, or like these kind of things, like a lot of the times when somebody clears it, it is kind of clearing like your fourth dimensional aspect mostly, or it might affect your health or your energy and stuff like that. But actually what I found that really makes it permanent is in your Akashic records. So without the objectivity, it's super hard to know what it is. But if someone is very aware of like how to access these things, they can totally clear a lot of stuff. I can tell you, like, I am super like crazy about this Akashic record work. Like I said the other day, I do like 4 levels of clearing work. That's at your 3rd, your 4th, and your 5th dimensional aspects. And I also tell you your manifesting blueprints and your divine gifts. And like knowing all of that information really helps you to know what to align to and how to get rid of all of these blocks that is sabotaging you from actually creating your purposeful work or whatever you want to do. So I think that's probably why, Angela, you're feeling like, I don't know what to do. So you really do need to have somebody else kind of look at it for you, definitely. Dee says, soulmate connection with parents is holding us back, too much protection. Yes, that is actually one of the biggest thing that I find in a lot of people's in a lot of people's Akashic records is protection contracts. I mean, it's like crazy. So here's the benefits. I can tell you amazing stories from my clients. I have one really cool one. So I'll tell you that. Oh, Angela said I need to hire you. Everybody needs to hire me, honestly, because there's always this like crazy background shit that doesn't make sense. That is what I'm good at finding, and I'm literally like a psychic detective, and I gotta find out what it is and why it's blocking you. And then I help you to have conscious awareness of it. And then I help you to figure out like how to change your mindset and how to actually have a different relationship with these people. Because actually, even though it's cleared, you guys can both be throwing shit at each other that's really not good. I've done that with my husband too. Like even though we cleared all our stuff, and I was like, why are we like doing, arguing about dumb things? And it's because we have to actually change our beliefs and like our illusions and stuff like that too, personally. And you have to do the inner work. So again, what I was talking about. Okay. So let me tell you a story. So I had one client, and she had this really weird condition that didn't make any sense, and no doctor could figure out what it was. And she literally did not have any energy. She lost her health completely. She went from a thriving like coaching practice, because she was actually amazing at what she does. But then she had like this weird like problem with her boyfriend, and they kept fighting over really dumb things. Like she used to tell me like really dumb things, and then when I did the big clearing, that usually I do an intensive first. When I cleared it, I cleared like over like 20 some blocks between the two of them. But also the biggest thing that was blocking her was she had this contract with the previous spiritual teacher, and that was taking her vital force energy, and that was why she didn't have any energy. So when I cleared it, it automatically changed like everything. Like not only did she have energy, she went from like being bedridden to actually being able to like do her work. There's also other stuff stuff that she needed help with strategy or whatever and mindset and stuff, but a lot of it was because of these kind of contracts that she had with her boyfriend. So what happened was literally, I don't even know how long it was, but like literally her boyfriend proposed to her. So they decided to get married because it was like a really big surprise. It was actually literally right after I cleared the stuff for her. And then like he used to be like very controlling about everything that she does, and then he suddenly stopped being controlling because there was actually a protection contract and soulmate contracts between each other. That was like super deep. There are actually also contracts between her and her family members, certain family members too, and I cleared that. And so what happened was immediately she was able to like feel like all of her relationships shift. So like her family no longer like she felt like the black sheep. Her family no longer like did really crazy stuff to her, like told her like not to do this or not to do that. They actually became really loving and caring about her and her doing her work. And it was just like overnight, like literally overnight, everybody around her actually like started loving her as she was as a person right now. And then later on they moved, they moved to an amazing island. And they're doing really well being in the sun. So I'm just giving you one example, but like it literally shifted a whole lot of relationships that she thought it had nothing to do with, she thought it was just her energy, like something's definitely wrong, like it just didn't make any sense. So that's what it would feel like. You feel super blocked, and every time when you have any kind of relationship with anybody, it's always like intense. It feels like they're misaligning you, or they're like you're fighting over dumb things, and then you can't manifest your dream whatever. Does that make sense? I know I just told you like a really long story, but like that's really what's happening. Anybody have any questions? Again, totally ask me. I'm here. Oh, actually, I didn't actually introduce what I do. I'm a psychic business mindset mentor. So you're basically in front of someone who's a psychic, a business coach, and a mindset coach all in one. So if you have any questions, totally ask me anything about those kind of subjects. And I do this clearing work to up-level my clients with ease, because that is exactly usually what's blocking them. It's like doesn't make any sense, and they're experiencing this kind of like sabotage in their relationships or whatever like that, or in their business, and I literally clear them off. So the only reason that it would not be working is because of probably like you don't have the right strategy, or you're not have that like awareness of what to do with your relationship, or like you can't communicate really well, or like there's some mindset, like poverty mindset, that you need to work on about making money or things like that. So cool. So if anybody doesn't have any more questions, totally, you can reach out to me if you want to. If you feel like it's just like nothing is making sense in terms of like why there's just sabotaging stuff going on, like totally ask me, okay? Can you clear the other way so you don't hold back your child? I have a 22-year-old son, thinking of him. Yes, that too also happens. So this is another story. So I had another client that she had like these weird thoughts about her mother, about taking care of her mother. It was just like, because actually I found that she had a protection and healing contract with her mother. And her mother was always sick. Like since she was a little girl, she was always sick and always acting like her child. And even though it was her mother. And it was because their dynamic, from what they remembered when they, because they're soulmates, right? Was that she was the mother and her mother was her daughter. So they were living that same way, even though that it's supposed to be the other way around. And then what happened was I cleared the big block. So I did the first level of clearing, which is the biggest one that I normally do. And then I think like couple hours later, because literally in her mind, she was always thinking about her mother. Like, I can tell you, like, what she was telling me was just so irrational stuff, like irrational fear, like why I need to like go over her house right now, or I need to call her every morning and do something for her, or this kind of stuff. And literally the next day, she had no thought about her mother. Like, she actually forgot that she needed to do something with her mother. They were supposed to do something together and she totally forgot. That, and then, you know what was so cool? Like, a couple weeks later after that, she said that her mom used to always be like, oh, you gotta come over and do like this and this, you know, like cook food for me or do things like that for her. Like, her mom never called her to do any of that stuff. Her mom also like actually decided that she needed to have help. So, because she realized like there's something seriously wrong. And then she realized she was depressed. And it was like, whoa, like her mom would never say that ever. Like something that's like some problem that she has, she would always say like, oh, it's because of this, somebody else or something like that. Never really took responsibility for her health. So my client was like, holy cow, like how did that happen? Like she was just so surprised that her mom was taking responsibility for herself. So that's actually what happens when you remove soulmate contracts. The people that were in that kind of dynamic, like I'm talking about, they will wake up. Their consciousness wake up. They be more responsible for themselves, and you literally don't have those thoughts and emotions about the person anymore. We call it compassionate connections. Because there was very, very deep present life compassionate connections that she was having with her mother. And another story was actually where I cleared a lot of contracts between her husband, her twins, because she had twin girls, and also her mother, which was actually, they had protection contracts, and that was the biggest problem. And actually, after I cleared all of that, all those people, like her family members, like cousins and stuff like that, they didn't make her feel like a black sheep anymore. They literally was having amazing conversations. Her mom actually manifested her soulmate, and they were getting married. So like that was actually what her mom wanted, was to have her soulmate. And she manifested her soulmate, and they were getting married. But she sabotaged it. I talked to her again, but her mom sabotaged it. But anyway, she manifested an amazing soulmate relationship with her, with a new partner. That was because we removed that protection contract and soulmate contract with her mom and her, and then that made it more abundant and made it more capable for her mom to actually have a real soulmate relationship that she wanted. So Lisa says, both of my parents are ill. I've always felt responsible for them since I was young. It says, always affected my well-being and now my business. I would like to clear this pattern. Yeah, so that sounds like a healing contract, Lisa. So I definitely can help you with that. There actually are multi-levels of what's happening behind that. But if I can, you know, if it's affecting your life and business, honestly, like, then I can clear it. But because we do have to have permission to do that, you know, from their souls. But if it really is affecting you in terms of the intimacy and stuff that you actually want with your own parents, or you really want with your own spouse and stuff like that, definitely that will come up too. He says, yeah, isn't that amazing? Like, her mom manifested her soulmate by me removing her protection contract with her mother. Like, I thought it was just going to be like, yeah, she'll have amazing feeling experiences and stuff. But what was so cool was, like, she had more the power to not engage in her mom that way any longer, where she was the mom and the, you know, her mother was the daughter kind of a thing. And she didn't feel, like, to this day when I talk to her, she doesn't feel any obligation at all to doing any of that stuff with her mother anymore. It's permanently gone. Yeah, isn't it? Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. And then another cool thing is like those people that are misaligning you, they will become so aligned that they manifest their dream whatever too. Like my client's parents manifested their dream home, and her mom manifested her 100K job. But of course that took more aligned action, and then she also helped her mom, but it's like more abundance is flowing too. Yeah, my son has felt like a very old soul from birth. Yeah, so that means that a lot of what you're interacting right now could be of an old type of relationship. Everyone who knows him say it. Yeah. Definitely the younger people like me, I'm an old soul for sure. We can have so much misalignments from our past lives, and so that's why we can't really show it fully. All right, do anyone else have any questions about this soulmate contracts? Because I probably just blew your mind about it. What's actually the possibility and what actually happens when you clear them, and the benefits of actually clearing them. But again, like you really need somebody who knows how to go deep into it. Like I know like a lot of practitioners can do this too, but the level that I'm talking about, there's actually 4 very deep 4 levels that I do for you. Like that's like aligning everything in your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th dimensional aspects. And so that automatically brings in more fame and fortune for you. And it feels very easy to up level. Like you won't be having all those crazy thoughts about other people, why they're misaligning you. And the sabotage from those people will be a lot less. That's for sure. Like me and my husband, we've cleared everything about us and my son too. But the level of like the way we used to fight, you know, it's not like before. It always felt like it was like something in the background that's like having us say these things and doing these actions that doesn't make any sense. But now it's like we are really creating this, like we're making these problems ourselves. And we're very, very well aware of it, and we say sorry all the time. Dee says, yes, he has felt like my protection for a long time. He is even in my meditation as a knight. He shows up to protect me. Oh gosh, so that's actually, I mean, that spiritually feels good, you know, but like energetically, it doesn't allow the soul to grow. He's going to always want you to protect him. He actually needs to protect himself, needs to like stand in his own integrity and stuff like that. So this is awesome, and I'm definitely getting it all. Yeah. Hi, Stacy Jean. Okay, so anybody else have any last questions? Because I think I've been talking a very long time. But if not, then we're going to end here. And so just so you know, like, if you feel like you need this help, like totally PM message me, reach out to me. I can also put a link below for you if you want to do like a free session with me, so that I can actually look up all of your blocks and restrictions and what your divine gifts is. And if you have a business, obviously I'm going to look up your business marketing archetype, the way that your business model should look like. And I'll tell you all the percentages and stuff like that for you, so that you can actually see, you know, what we are starting out with, and like what might be the best way to clear this stuff, because it's honestly very deep. And you can go with like, you know, one practitioner do an hour thing and an hour thing here, but honestly, like if it's not very specific and it's not very aligned to you to clear that right now, you will feel the misalignments. And then it will create like more sabotaging stuff too. Like it will feel good, like yeah, you feel good, but it will be temporary. But with this kind of Akashic record work that I'm doing, it will be permanent, and you actually will feel the benefits of this abundance flowing to you, and you'll create more fame and fortune very, very easily. So anyway, if again you missed and you just jumped on now, totally listen to the replay. every time I go on these live streams, just listen to the beginning part, like the first like 20 minutes or 30 minutes I'm talking, I'm giving you the value. And then the last part, we're doing Q&A. So Lisa says, thank you, Leimomi. Looking forward to seeing you soon so we can work on clearing my blocks. Yes, I'm so excited to see you too, Lisa. It's been a very, very long time. Lisa is like an old friend, and yeah, we have old times together. All right. So if you really love this, totally subscribe to me. Like, go click on the button. There's a subscribe button. Then every time when I get on, you will see my live stream, and I will, I will be doing this. I'm hoping to do every day, but I've been good at it so far, but I can't promise anything. But would any of you like me create a show or something about this? I'm wondering, like, what do you think? Like, should I create like a live stream show? I don't know, about these blocks, or some mindset tools, or like some business strategy, or like, what would you guys like to learn? Like, what would you guys like to know more about? Or if you have any ideas, totally PM message me if, you missed the chance to answer my question. But I was thinking, like, I should make some kind of show. Like a live stream show like this. Oh, Dee says, God, yes. So far, I've been pretty good at doing this regularly, but I can't promise I'm going to keep going. But I think, like, maybe I could make, like, some kind of cool show that's on particular subjects. Maybe I should call it, like, fame and fortune blocks or something like that. Absolutely all of it. Oh, gosh. Then I would have, like, unlimited content, I think. Right? Like, I would probably, like, talk your head off, but I was thinking, like, that would be really cool if I do this that had a certain theme. So if you have, like, some idea, like, totally let me know. Like, what kind of idea would you like to learn about? We can invite more peeps. Yes, and if you like this stuff, totally, there's a share button, so share this too. That I don't actually know. I think there's a share button. Yeah, you can definitely share my broadcasts, my live streams. So, because I'm going to, like, share this kind of content, because what I'm going to talk about is, like, stuff that are consciousness blocks or consciousness things that you need to be aware of, totally. So people can invite friends from here and the little man on the bottom. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what Dee says. So there's a little man at the bottom, I guess, and you can share this. I didn't know that there's a little man at the bottom. Okay, anyway, well, you guys have an amazing evening or day wherever you're at. And don't only listen to me again, totally subscribe, and reach out to me if you really feel like you need this help to clear these soulmate contracts that I'm talking about. I thought this would be a cool subject to talk about. So anyway, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Aloha.